Make sure to check out my Patreon for exclusive videos never before seen on YouTube. And don't forget to also check out the memberships on my channel page to join and gain access to perks and see videos early. Make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell and be notified of new videos. All the support goes to the production of the channel for better content. Now let's get into the video. Real quick shout out to all the members that are there on the screen. Go check them out. Go give them a like, subscribe, show them some love and support. Also, if this video gets over 250 likes, I shall continue the series. Thank you all for the support. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers, and I will talk to you all later. After Goku defeating Vegeta, Frieza was now on his way to go collect the Dragon Balls so he can wish for immortality. Now, because of this, the Z Fighters would have had more time to train, and because of that, they would have had over a year, with Goku training with Piccolo and his son, getting them ready to support and the help of fighting Frieza. Now, because of this, the year would pass and Frieza would still appear as he was ready to fight. Now, Frieza has brought a lot of his men, of course, Doria, Zarbon, and even Vegeta follow close, but Vegeta's kind of being smart. He's staying in the background, as if he might have a bone to pick with Kui, but he would still beat him the exact same. Goku, of course, would instantly go find Frieza, but he would have to go through his men first, as he would then go through, of course, Zarbon and Doria, easily defeating them, as there's not much that they can really do. Now, of course, Frieza was next. Now, because of this, Frieza would then fight Goku in his first form. But because of this, sadly, first form Frieza has no chance against this version of Goku. So, Frieza would then skip his forms and go to his true form, his fourth form, aka his final form. Goku would actually be on the losing end here, as even though he has more abilities than he ever did before, with X-ray vision, of course, the super speed, and the other factor too is that the X-ray vision, all of that sadly is not enough to take down Frieza, as he was too powerful for this version of Goku. Now, because of this, Goku was on the losing end, but he was still able to hold his own a lot better than he did in the original What If, but unfortunately, against the likes of Frieza, not enough. Goku here would then be grabbed around his neck by Frieza's tail, but Goku has an idea. As while Frieza was of course talking, as he always does, Goku would then use his freeze breath and actually freeze Frieza's tail, and he would shatter it. Making Frieza scream in agony, he would kick Goku away as half of his tail was gone now. Now this infuriated Frieza as he would fire death beams at Goku, damaging him badly. Now Frieza has had enough of this. He's tired of this monkey sitting here, and he didn't even know that Saiyans had the ability to blow frost like that. He's never seen a Saiyan do that. Maybe it's some kind of ability that he learned or something. That doesn't make any sense to him. Now Vegeta, would he join in the fight? Obviously not, as he's not even close to as powerful as he was in the original. He would not have joined in. He would have just watched in a little bit of anger, because he wished it was him that was fighting Frieza. But he knows that Frieza would just instantly kill him. Well, not much that he can really do. Goku would, of course, use some of his abilities to his advantage, such as his heat vision would help out battling against the likes of Frieza. But now Frieza's getting tired of this. Frieza would then charge up a massive supernova attack. Now Goku would get out from the rubble as he was pretty damaged. He knows that he could jump into the sun like he did before, but the problem is that that's not enough time, because by the time that he gets to the sun, charges up, and then gets back, Frieza could already have destroyed the planet. Running out of options, Goku would just have to take the attack head on, as Frieza himself would then throw the supernova attack as he was tired of the planet, and this might destroy the planet, but he knows he can survive anyway. Goku would then grab the attack, but it was too much for him as he was already tired, and he would be engulfed by the attack. But something strange happens. The attack starts to shrink and shrink and shrink, as Goku's body absorbs the attack. But now Goku's in almost like a new form. He's different. His hair is standing up, but he has the power of the sun. It's like an aura around his body. Like the sun itself is fused with him. Goku here has now mixed his Super Saiyan cells with the Kryptonian. He has supercharged himself. And because of this, Frieza was easily overpowered by Goku. Any attacks that he did on Goku did nothing. Nothing injured Goku, and it was too fast for even Frieza to even keep up. And as well, even with any attacks bounced off of Goku, Goku would have easily defeated Frieza. He would have given him one chance to leave and never return. Of course, Frieza would never accept that. As he would then shoot a final attack, Goku would then charge up his heat vision and completely obliterate Frieza. Now that the death of Frieza has happened, most of the Frieza's men who were left over would just escape on the ships. As for Vegeta, he would stay because there's nowhere else for him to go, and Earth is a nice place. So he would kind of relax a little bit, and you could also argue that he would still get with Bulma the exact same way. Of course, he's still going to train and try and surpass Kakarot. Goku's form would then wear off as he thinks that he was just supercharged by the sun, or the supernova that Frieza threw at him. But now because of this, future Trunks would still reveal himself about a year later, and he would still explain to Goku about the androids, maybe a little more detail about the fact that Goku, of course, is part Kryptonian, and he knows that, but this green rock called Kryptonite actually injures Goku and even Gohan, who they're not full Saiyans. And he knows that it doesn't kill them, but it poisoned Goku, as Dr. Jerome made a custom virus for Goku, and because of this, he was so weakened that the androids were easily able to kill him, so sadly Goku died in the future timeline. Now because of this, Gohan would have still died, you can argue just the same way, as the androids would have just completely obliterated him the exact same way, and Trunks turned to a Super Saiyan at that point. Now Trunks would actually give Goku medicine that would actually destroy the kryptonite particles when it does attack him. And the fact of is that also, the final thing that you need to do is go take a dip in the sun, as the sun will charge your cells to destroy any kryptonite remnants that are left after you've already been charged back up. So Goku understands this, as Piccolo overheard it as well. They would tell the Z Fighters about the androids will be appearing in 3 years, the exact same as before. Goku, Piccolo, and Gohan would continue to train. Now 3 years would pass. Most of the events would happen the same, with Goku meeting Dr. Gero and of course Android 19. Now I feel like Dr. Gero and Android 19 probably wouldn't have kryptonite, as there's only so much of it. And pretty much all of it went towards his main androids. Android of course 17 and Android 18. And Android 16 has an experimental piece of that as well on him, but we'll discuss that later. Goku would have probably still manhandled Android 19 the exact same, but he starts feeling the effects of the kryptonite virus that's starting to hit his body. So Yamcha would have had to carry him away, and this is when Vegeta would then reveal himself and showcase Super Saiyan the exact same as before. Now you could argue that the androids are a lot more powerful, which is true, but remember, they're not fighting pretty much a Kryptonian level character, they're fighting Vegeta, who's a full Saiyan. So Vegeta at this point, with training, I think he could catch up to where he originally was. He would probably be able to defeat Android 19, probably not as easy, but definitely would still been able to defeat him. Piccolo teaming up as well would overpower Dr. Gero, who would run off, and he would go activate Android 17 and 18. And of course, Android 17 and 18 would then kill Dr. Gero, and then get Android 16. Now these androids of course look a little bit different. Now why is that? They're relatively the same in terms of what their power is, but they are gifted a bit more. They have kryptonite. As Android 17, 18, they have kryptonite in their knuckles. So it's almost like little knuckle guards on their fist. And they can of course shoot kryptonite blast. Very similar to how Lex Luthor could do it with his war suit that he could use. Now because of this, the androids also have a shield ability that they can use to absorb heat vision. So Goku's energy attacks does not harm them, and on top of that, their bodies are also laced with lead material. This also means that Goku, of course, cannot use X-ray vision. Now, cutting into Gohan, I feel like Gohan, even though he's only realistically 1/3 part of Kryptonian, he's part human, part Saiyan, part Kryptonian. He does still have some of the Kryptonian powers. Now, he doesn't really have the freeze breath or anything like that his father has. Gohan can get a little bit stronger from the sun as his father can. Not as much, but similar to his father. And Gohan does have heat vision and he can fly and breathe in space. But he doesn't have the freeze breath or the X-ray vision or anything like that. He only has some of the abilities that his father had. So Gohan is very powerful. He has the same potential as before. So of course, when Vegeta goes to attack Android 17 and 18, they're a lot more powerful than the original. They would easily overpower them. They're still relatively the same nature, so they're not as evil as the future timeline ones. They would spare them, as their main mission is Goku. So they would then leave. But then because of this, the same exact events would pretty much happen. Not much else would really change. Of course, when you have, of course, Vegeta Trunks are training. Cell, of course, came from the future timeline. And Cell is a very interesting character. You'll find out in a minute. As Cell is not a normal character. As we know, Cell is a hybrid mix of different beings and different species. Well, Cell here, I think, would have still came from the future timeline. And he needs to absorb Android 17 and 18, just like the original, so he can go into his complete form. Now, because of this, of course, the same events would happen the exact same. So we're going to skip over a lot of what happens, and we're going to get into the fun part to when the likes of Piccolo and Vegeta and the others fight Cell and the androids. Now, as for Piccolo, Piccolo is a bit more powerful than the original because he's training harder, and he also has a stronger sparring partner, aka Son Goku. Now, because of this, Piccolo would still fuse with Kami the exact same way, and he would still go and fight Android 17. Now, the two would actually be seemingly equal. As you guys know, the androids are stronger, but Piccolo is also stronger too, because he's been training harder. So Piccolo would be able to hold his own very well against Android 17, as other than Goku and Gohan, their Kryptonian gizmos doesn't really do anything against the likes of Piccolo and them, so it doesn't really matter. But of course, it would be a stalemate, as of course First Form Cell would then appear. Now, First Form Cell would then attack Piccolo, easily defeating as Piccolo was tired. He would trick Android 17 into kind of attacking him. He would then use the Solar Flare, and he would then absorb Android 17. But because of this, Cell would then go into his second form. But Cell looks a little bit different here. As Cell went to his second form, it's a bit more grayish green, and he has spikes protruding out of his body, as his eyes are more red than before. You guys got it right. Cell is a mixture of all the other beings and a mixture of Kryptonian DNA. So I want you guys to imagine Cell mixed with the likes of Doomsday. That is what Cell is. Cell is Goku's Doomsday, the ultimate creature to kill a Kryptonian. Because of this, Cell does look really cool. He has spikes protruding from his body, from his knuckles, just like how Doomsday does. But you can tell that it's still Cell. It's just a lot of difference. Now, because of this, of course, once Vegeta and Trunks finished their training, Android 18 and 16 were in hiding. Vegeta would then showcase his Super Vegeta form. Even though Vegeta is stated to be a little bit stronger, against this version of Cell, Vegeta would not have it as easy. Now, because of this though, Cell is also not as intelligent as he originally is. Let me explain why. Since I'm incorporating Doomsday mixing with Cell, is the fact that Cell is not as giftedly smart as he is. So each time that he transforms, he loses some of his kind of mental structure. So he acts more like Doomsday each time he transforms. Now he's in the middle ground. So Cell is less of small talk. He still does say some quips and stuff like that, but Cell is very similar to the likes of Dragon Ball Z Broly. He loves to fight and he wants to kill Goku. Pretty much the simple term is that. Vegeta would have a very difficult time against this version of Cell. His final flash would do damage, but the issue is that Cell was getting more powerful. Every time a heart attack hits him, he's only growing stronger. It's very similar to the Doomsday that we saw in the Batman v Superman movie, to where any attack done to him or damage dealt, Cell only comes back stronger, and he evolves the more he attacks him. But now because of this, Cell here would start to overpower Vegeta. Now, would Vegeta get cocky enough? I don't think so. But we're going to argue that Cell would still be able to find Android 18 and would absorb her. Now, because of this, he will be in his perfect form, but he looks a bit different. He looks a little bit more like Cell Max, being bigger in size, about 12 feet tall, with way more spikes and way more deadly looking. Like Cell looks like a mixture between Cell and Doomsday. You can't really differentiate much of them together. But now because of this though, sadly, Cell here has lost a lot of his mental thing. But because of this, he still wants to fight Goku. So he would still give them a few days to get stronger. As he's very childish, he's kind of like Super Boo in terms of intelligence, as he would just stomp around and destroy cities and do whatever he wants because he wants a real fight still. Now, a lot of the events would happen the same with Goku healing up from the kryptonite virus. As Goku, after he regains enough strength to fly, he would fly straight towards the sun and take a sun dip. Because of this, Goku would then be charged back up to full strength, as it would exterminate any atoms of kryptonite in his body, as he felt much better. Now he knows about Cell, and he knows how dangerous he is, but they don't have time to mess around. Now there is two options that they can do. If you guys remember, Goku realistically, he only went into the hyperbolic time chamber, of course to grow stronger, but to also master Super Saiyan. Well, he doesn't necessarily have Super Saiyan. And you could argue that that supercharged form that he had was a version of Super Saiyan. It was a Kryptonian Super Saiyan, but he doesn't know how to access that. So because of that, he will go into the hyperbolic time chamber just to kind of give you guys a reason why he would even want to go in there. So they have only a few days, as Goku and Gohan would then go in together, as father and son would then begin their training. Now Gohan here, I feel like with Goku's help, he probably could unlock Super Saiyan. As remember, Pan is only realistically 1/3 of a Super Saiyan, 1/3 of a Saiyan, but she can theoretically access it from what we know. But I'm gonna just say that it is possible. If you have enough Saiyan in you, you can access it. Gohan's potential, he definitely can. Gohan would have normal Super Saiyan. Now Goku here, when he turns Super Saiyan, it is a little bit different. Now, as you guys know, his hair would just stand up more, and his eyes would be a different color. His eyes would then just be a reddish color, aka because he's overcharged. And that's his heat vision being overcharged, is the glowing red eyes. So this greatly increases his power, making him a lot more stronger than the original, as this overloads all of his abilities. But now once when they step out, you could argue that Vegeta and Trunks would then go in there, but they have no time, as Goku would then fly off to go fight Cell. Once when Goku lands, the two would begin their fight. As of course, it was very similar to Goku, and of course fighting Cell in the original, as Cell is just as fast as he originally was. You could argue a bit harder because he's more bulkier. The fight would be very similar to when Superman fought Doomsday. Both were seemingly equal in power, but Goku was still being injured because Doomsday was the perfect counter to Superman, and Cell is the perfect counter to Goku. So the two would be giving it their all, fighting. As Gohan, even though he's very powerful, sadly he wouldn't be able to keep up with his version of Cell. His father and Cell have far surpassed them. They just sadly have to watch. Now Goku was badly injured and bleeding on the ground, as Cell was only growing more and more powerful. But what are they gonna do? I mean, every time that Goku attacks this thing, it only grows stronger. But then Bulma would appear, and she has an idea. She remembers that kryptonite can kill it. Kryptonite is basically the only thing that can damage it enough to kill it. Well, Bulma, after searching at Dr. Dro's lab, she did find a piece of kryptonite left over that Dr. Dro has never used yet. Now this is perfect because Bulma formed a weapon out of it, basically like a sharp rock of the kryptonite, as that was perfect. As she would toss it to Goku, Goku was already getting weaker because of it. He would fly in full speed and stab it right through Cell's chest. But then sadly, Cell had the spike form from his hand. He would stab Goku as well. As very similar to the movie, Goku would force it to go deeper in his body, as he would shove it all the way through, and Cell would be completely killed. As he would fall over, Goku was dropped. As he was not healing, Goku would pass away sadly, giving his life to protect the Earth against that monster, Cell. Now, of course, Goku here would finally be in the afterlife for the first time. Because of his heroic actions, of course, he was given his body and he's able to keep it. But now because of this, of course, Yama would state that there is a teacher that could help Goku control his power even better. And Goku can go check it out. It was known as King Kai. So Goku would then begin flying down to Snake Way to go check it out. but Goku would still be countered by Gohan and the Dragon Balls, and he would explain that he doesn't want to be brought back to life, as every time he does, and he's around, there's always been these bad guys coming after him. Maybe the Earth is better now if he's not there, as he knows that with Vegeta, Piccolo, and his son Gohan's rising power, they can take care of the planet while he's gone. And that is it for this What If, you guys. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little different take on the Cell Saga, as I definitely wanted to make it a bit more different to make it more interesting. Thank y'all for the support. I really do appreciate it. Let's see to 200,000 subscribers. I'm just kidding. Let's see to 20,000 subscribers, and I will talk to you all later.